Well, I came to college as a Christian. Along the way, being exposed to new ideas and even to the inadequacy of my ideas, I went through seasons of doubt and uncertainty. By God's grace, those helped me, I think, really to go deeper in my faith. It's interesting and ironic to me that when I was in college, we were still pretty much modernists and materialists. That is, the intellectual world. So it's a very different world from today in some ways. Uh, the things we were fighting or wrestling with were different, I think, than a day today, where there in some ways is greater tolerance for the spiritual, yet it seems also somewhat more intolerance for particular kinds of being spiritual. But for me, it was wrestling with those things. Now, I got in grad school. I'm studying New Testament at Harvard in a very academic and critical setting, where much of what I believed about the Bible was not just being denied, but almost assumed to be untrue. And that was at first quite disconcerting, although I'd known what I was getting into. But that actually forced me to look at especially the philosophical roots of a lot of the scholarship that I was being exposed to, and realize that these folk are not, as we once would have said, purely objective scholars. So I was really kind of the dawn of postmodernism, which in some ways makes it harder to be a certain kind of Christian, but it also makes it harder to be a very robust modernist, a non-Christian, because you've really got to look at your assumptions and what you're bringing to your scholarship. And as I did that myself, realized that I could approach the scriptures from what was an academically respectable position, but also one more consistent with faith, that allowed me not to take it all uncritically, to study it critically, but to still emerge from that as a person with confidence in the authority of Scripture.